Shalom, and welcome to Psychology of the Parsha for Parshat Shoftim. The Parsha begins, Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha b'chol sha'arecha. Judges and officers, enforcers, you shall appoint to you in all your gates. Now, of course, what the Torah is speaking about is the mitzvah of appointing judges in each and every city. And in fact, the sages discussed the criteria of how large or small a city has to be in order to warrant the appointment of the judges, how big the Beit Din has to be, the court, whether it's 3, whether it's a larger court. But in any case, the fact that we read this every year, we read this not only every year, but at a very strategic time of the year. We read this in the month of Elul. Without fail, Shoftim always comes out to be somewhere in the first week or week and a half at most of the month of Elul. And this is the month when we're supposed to take inventory, supposed to take stock of the entire year. In fact, when we examine the verse, there seems to be something peculiar. It says you should appoint judges and enforcers. Titen lecha, you should appoint to you. This is not to you. You should appoint in the cities. What does this thing about this individual lecha? Doesn't even say lachem, to you collectively, but it says lecha, to you personally. And this is telling us that each and every person has an obligation to appoint judges to him or herself. And also means of enforcement. What does this mean? On a practical level, what this means is very simple. Most people, if they have to judge themselves, because, thank God, we are so close to ourselves, psychologically we're not able to be impartial. We're not able to. And if a human being can actually be very hard on themselves and absolutely stubbornly cruel to themselves, then obviously they have a problem. Okay, they have a mental health problem. Okay, so typically, you're a healthy human being, as righteous as they may be, and as much as they really want to do the right thing, should not really be capable or be able to be absolutely impartial about themselves and to make always, to call, the right decisions when it comes to crucial matters of right and wrong. Thus, the Torah is telling us, you have to appoint judges. To put it in the Rebbe's words, Aseh l'charav. But the Mishnah tells us that one has to appoint a Rav, a rabbi, a mentor, a guide for themselves. Somebody outside of themselves. Somebody separate from you. Somebody who cares about you, but somebody who has the ability to say to you, no. To say to you, yes, this has to be done. This should not be done. This must not be done. And so on. To guide us. Especially when it comes to crucial decisions in life. And then we need to have also the enforcers. In this case, if somebody has a mentor, knowing that that person already knows about your dilemma and has given you advice or directive or made a decision for you based on their spiritual expertise and their knowledge, the fact that that person knows and that person may turn around and ask you, so how did it go? How did you implement it? That's a means of enforcement. Because you have someone, it's not just you and yourself and your mind, and that the only one that knows about it is you and God. Or, for example, the Rebbe encouraged that on one's birthday, one should make a good resolution to increase in mitzvot, in Torah study, and so on. And the Rebbe suggested that this be done in a public forum. Why so? Why does everybody have to know what you accepted upon yourself? The Rebbe explained. Because the nature of things is that when you do something in such a manner that other people know, that already is a means of enforcement. Because other people know and other people have the expectation of you. And so you know always, in the back of your mind, in the subconscious at least, that somebody might come and ask you, so how did it go? How are you doing with your resolution? How's it coming along? That in itself is a motivator for you, even at a subconscious level, to actually implement it. So, Shoftim v'shoftim titen lecha b'chol sha'arecha, asher Hashem Elokecha noten lecha lishvatecha, that God gives to you. And all these gates, obviously, in the personal sense, is the gates that we have. That's the eyes, the ears, the mouth, the nose. Those are the gateways to the mind. And we have to put the proper judges. And how does the verse conclude? Veshaftu et ha'am mishpat tzedek. They should judge the people in a righteous and just manner. And certainly when Hashem gives us a mitzvah, we know that Hashem himself practices that mitzvah. Both prior to him instructing us to do the mitzvah, and after, when we do the mitzvah, that triggers that Hashem himself should respond by doing that mitzvah. So when we behave in such a manner that we put the proper judicial system into place and set things up that we should do the right thing, even though we're human, we might, slip up sometimes, but at least in our desire, and our desire is expressed by our action in the best way, we set it up in a way that we have a mentor, we have every, precautionary measure in place, such as the enforcers as we spoke. Then Hashem too responds, and he says, I too will judge you in a righteous manner. And certainly as we come to approach Rosh Hashanah, the new year, the day of judgment, the ultimate day and time of judgment, we need that Hashem should judge us righteously, and may it be so. Shana Tova.